At a historic gathering of key tribal leaders and state education agencies, participants convened to strengthen Indian education and improve outcomes for American Indian students.
We're talking about the education and the future of Native children.
It's really important to get multiple stakeholders together for these conversations.
The relationships that you build at these types of meetings with all the different agencies involved are invaluable.
And I think it really helps us go beyond perhaps where we have been.
Coordinated by 3 organizations which play critical roles in supporting Indian education: the Council of Chief State School Officers, CCSSO, a nonprofit organization of public officials who head departments of education; the National Indian Education Association, NIEA, the largest and oldest Indian education organization in the nation; and the Comprehensive Centers, a federally funded program that builds the capacity of state education agencies. The meeting encouraged an open dialogue about closing the American Indian opportunity gap.
Any conversation that we have about Native education should always be about the children.
As we all say, that they are the leaders of tomorrow for Indian country.
For Chief State School Officers like myself, it's hard to be able to know everything that's happening across the country.
And having key players here at this meeting, it's hopeful for me.
Right, so an ongoing commitment from all of the stakeholders to put our Indian children first and foremost, and to be able to continue that work on an ongoing basis is why we're here.
Energized to align efforts, participants discussed ESSA, the Every Student Succeeds Act, which includes significant provisions for tribal involvement in public schools, a first for the American education system.
I am very sensitive to Indian people being forgotten, and it seems like it's been the case for a long time, especially in education, and that tide seems to be turning.
The opportunity that the new education law, ESSA, provides and allows for states and communities and schools across the country is very promising. And I think in Montana, we are very excited to establish new partnerships and look at our past successes, our past challenges, and build a system of support that is meaningful for schools at all levels.
What we've had across the country is we've been operating as separate entities with Native Americans serving Native Americans and the schooling systems not being connected in any sort of way.
This new law empowers tribes with its call for meaningful consultation, which acknowledges the sovereignty of tribes to govern Indian education in the United States.
Our tribe's really a partner when we're implementing the ESSA. If not, then what are we doing here?
Building relationships, I think. We've got to get to the point of let's be honest with each other. Let's really look at what's happening here.
This is an unprecedented opportunity to create an education system informed and shaped by tribal beliefs.
And we certainly take that as a responsibility and a challenge to continue to push ourselves, to continue to push culturally responsive education, to think outside the box with school improvement, and to be a good partner to our tribes and our communities in Indian country.
It involves young people, it involves communities, it involves parents.
Because if you can't relate and connect to what you're being taught in the classroom with what you already know, then there's no relevance.
Participants developed plans for continued collaboration and action, including another gathering in conjunction with the 47th Annual National Indian Education Association Convention to be held in Reno, Nevada in October.
And we recognize and acknowledge that it's important to have a network of Indian education directors along with other partners to really help us do our work, similar to how our comp centers support us. We also need support from each other.
We know what kind of work that they're doing. We know what their capacity is, and we've had a long history for us in the Northwest working with comprehensive centers, and so we want to continue that work into the future.
It seems like now we're at a point where we're moving forward and that we've got some momentum again to really concentrate on Indian education across the country.
And I think these initial conversations have really brought together a broad group of stakeholders to start having a conversation about how do we serve all children in the state.
This is a good start with NIEA, CCSSO, the comp centers, and Indian educators around the country.
We're here today as part of the fruition of a decade-long plan. And so we're incredibly excited about what the future, what the partnerships mean, and we know that we have to make this work.